MASH. 11 seasons, 256 episodes, the most watched finale in television history. But behind the scenes, this show was wild. Cast members who hated each other, a fire that destroyed the set during the final episode, a teenager who made over $1 million from the theme song, and a laugh track that the creators fought against. I'm showing you 15 weird facts about MASH that will change how you watch the show. Drop a comment with the fact that shocks you most. Let's go. MASH was set during the Korean War. The Korean War lasted 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. That's 1,128 days total. MASH ran for 11 seasons, 256 episodes, from 1972 to 1983. Do the math. Each episode would have represented almost 4.5 days of real time. Hawkeye aged 11 years. The war lasted 3. Characters referenced multiple Christmases, multiple winters, multiple years passing. But in the show's timeline, they were all still stuck in the same 3-year war. This created some weird continuity issues. Characters would talk about being there for years, when technically they'd only been deployed for months. But nobody cared, because the show was that good. Over 11 seasons, MASH had massive cast changes. Henry Blake left, Trapper John left, Radar left, Frank Burns left. But one person was there for all 256 episodes, Alda. And not just as an actor. He directed 32 episodes. He wrote 19 episodes. He became a producer. In 1983, he became the first person ever to win Emmy Awards for acting, directing, and writing for the same show. That's not weird. That's legendary. But here's what is weird. Loretta Swit, who played Hot Lips, appeared in all 11 seasons, but she missed a handful of episodes along the way. So technically, Hawkeye was the only character to witness every moment of the 4077's story. The creators of MASH hated the laugh track. Larry Gelbart and Gene Reynolds fought CBS tooth and nail. They said, "This is a show about war and death. We don't need canned laughter." CBS said, "Every sitcom has a laugh track. This is non-negotiable." So they compromised. The laugh track would be removed from all operating room scenes. No jokes about dying soldiers would get laughs. And as the seasons progressed, the laugh track got quieter and quieter. By the end, it was barely there. Here's the weird part. In the UK, the BBC aired MASH with no laugh track at all. And when the DVD box sets came out, they included an option to watch every episode without the laugh track. Fans who grew up with the laugh track said it felt weird without it. Fans who watched it in the UK said the laugh track ruined it. Same show, 2 completely different experiences. If you watch MASH closely, you'll notice something strange about Radar. His left hand is almost never visible. It's behind a clipboard, inside a glove, in his pocket, hidden in some way. Why? Gary Burghoff was born with a congenital deformity. 3 of his fingers on his left hand were shorter and misshapen. He was self-conscious about it, so the show worked around it. Cameras were angled to hide his hand. Props were strategically placed. And here's the wildest part. Burghoff was an accomplished drummer. He learned to play despite the deformity. In one episode, Radar plays the drums, and you can see his left hand working perfectly. Fans who didn't know about the deformity never noticed. Fans who did know were amazed at how well the show hid it. Larry Gelbart was living in London when he was asked to write the MASH pilot. He wanted to avoid Hollywood. He wanted to distance himself from the TV grind. But the offer was too good to refuse. So he sat down, and he wrote the entire pilot script in 3 days. CBS loved it. They greenlit the show immediately. And how much did Gelbart get paid for that script? $25,000. That's it. No royalties, no percentage of the show's profits, just a flat fee. MASH went on to become one of the most successful TV shows in history, and Gelbart got 25 grand for the pilot. He later said he wished he'd negotiated better. Yeah, we bet he did. MASH was set in Korea, but it was filmed in Malibu, California, specifically in the mountains near Malibu Creek State Park. The outdoor tent scenes, the helicopter landings, the camp exteriors, all shot at a ranch about 25 miles from Hollywood. And here's the weird part. That set is still there. You can visit it. You can see the actual location where Hawkeye and BJ lived in the swamp. Hikers stumble across it all the time and post photos online. The indoor scenes were shot on a soundstage at 20th Century Fox Studios. But those iconic outdoor shots? Pure Malibu. Which means every time you saw snow in an episode, they had to fake it. Because Malibu doesn't get snow. In the early seasons, the cast complained about the scripts. A lot. They had notes, they had suggestions, they questioned dialogue choices. So the writers decided to teach them a lesson. They wrote 2 episodes where the characters had to wear heavy winter parkas and coats, and they scheduled the filming for the hottest days of the year. 90-degree heat, full sun, and the actors had to wear winter gear for hours. According to writer Ken Levine, the complaints stopped immediately after that. The cast got the message: stop giving us ticky-tack notes, or we'll make you suffer. Lesson learned. The MASH theme song is called "Suicide is Painless." It's haunting. It's melancholy. It's perfect for the show. The music was composed by Johnny Mandel. But the lyrics? Those were written by a 14-year-old kid named Michael Altman. Michael was the son of Robert Altman, the director of the original MASH movie. Robert asked his teenage son to write lyrics that had a childish quality about suicide. Michael wrote them in about 5 minutes, and then those lyrics were used in the MASH movie and the TV show's opening credits. Michael Altman earned over $1 million in royalties from that song. His dad, Robert Altman, directed the entire movie, and he made $70,000. Michael wrote some lyrics in 5 minutes as a teenager and became a millionaire. Robert Altman later joked, "That's the most money anyone in my family has ever made from anything I've done." Abyssinia, Henry, is one of the most shocking episodes in TV history. Henry Blake is going home. The war is over for him. The cast throws him a goodbye party. And then, in the final scene, Radar walks into the operating room and announces, Henry Blake's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan. There were no survivors. The actors were devastated. Their reactions were real, because only one person knew this was coming: Alda. The rest of the cast received scripts for the entire episode. They filmed the goodbye party. They filmed Henry leaving. And then, right before the wrap party, Larry Gelbart handed them the final page. That's when they found out Henry was dead. They shot the scene in 2 takes. The emotions were raw. The shock was genuine. Gary Burghoff reportedly turned to McLean Stevenson and said, "You son of a bitch, you're going to get an Emmy for this." CBS received over 1,000 angry letters from viewers, but Larry Gelbart defended it. He said, "I wanted to say that war isn't a game. People die, and sometimes they die senselessly." While filming the series finale, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, disaster struck. A massive wildfire swept through Malibu, and it destroyed the MASH outdoor set. The tents, the camp, the helicopter pad, all gone. So the cast and crew had to improvise. That's why most of the finale takes place indoors or at night. They couldn't rebuild the set in time, so they rewrote scenes to work around it. And honestly, It kind of worked. 120 million people watched that finale, and they had no idea they were watching a show that had literally burned to the ground. Wayne Rogers played Trapper John for 3 seasons, and then he quit. He was frustrated. He thought his character was being sidelined in favor of Hawkeye. He wanted a bigger role. He wasn't getting it. So he walked. The producers were furious. They decided to sue him for breach of contract. There was just one problem. Wayne Rogers had never actually signed his contract. For 3 years, he'd been working on MASH without a signed agreement. So when the producers tried to sue him, they discovered they had no case. Rogers left. The producers couldn't do anything about it. And that's how we got B.J. Honeycutt. Corporal Maxwell Klinger spent most of the series wearing women's clothing. Why? Because he was trying to get a Section 8 discharge by pretending to be crazy. The dresses, the wigs, the jewelry, all part of his plan. But here's the weird part. A lot of those dresses came from Jamie Farr's personal collection. His wife and daughters would help him pick out outfits. According to Farr, he was worried about how his kids would be treated at school. He didn't want them bullied because their dad wore dresses on TV. But they were proud of him, and they helped him create some of Klinger's most iconic looks. Oh, and one more thing. Jamie Farr actually served in Korea during the war. He wore his real dog tags from his military service on the show. So while Klinger was trying to get out of the army, Jamie Farr was wearing reminders of his actual time in it. When Mike Farrell joined MASH as B.J. Honeycutt in Season 4, he was clean-shaven, young, fresh-faced, straight-laced. And then, before Season 7, Alan Alda asked him to grow a mustache. Why? Because Alan thought it would make B.J. look more weathered, more worn down by the war. Mike agreed. He grew the mustache, and it became one of B.J.'s defining characteristics. But here's the really weird part. Alan Alda and Mike Farrell were best friends in real life. They hung out off-set. Their families were close. And when the show ended, they stayed friends. So that mustache? It wasn't just a character choice. It was one friend asking another friend to change his look for the sake of the show. And it worked. The series finale, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, aired on February 28, 1983. 120 million people watched. It was the most watched TV episode in history. But it wasn't the last episode they filmed. The actual last episode to be shot was the one before the finale, As Time Goes By. That's the episode where the 4077th creates a time capsule to bury under the Fox Studios lot. Why did they film it out of order? Scheduling, logistics, the fire that destroyed the set. So when the cast wrapped production on MASH, they didn't end with the big emotional goodbye. They ended with a time capsule episode, which is kind of poetic actually. A time capsule preserving memories of the 4077th. Just like the show itself preserved memories of a war that ended 30 years before it aired. If you watch MASH closely, you'll notice something weird about the patients. A lot of them have familiar names. In Season 6, there's an episode where 4 Marine patients are named after the 1977 California Angels infield. In Season 7, patients were named after the 1978 Los Angeles Dodgers. Writer Ken Levine was a baseball fan, and he snuck player names into scripts constantly. Sometimes it was Marines, sometimes it was casualties, sometimes it was background characters. And in the episode Goodbye Radar, Radar's girlfriend was named Patty Haven. Why? Because Patty Haven was one of Ken Levine's ex-girlfriends. So if you ever watch MASH and think, that name sounds familiar, it probably is. Ken Levine was naming characters after baseball players and ex-girlfriends for years, and nobody noticed until decades later. 15 Weird Facts About MASH, a show that lasted longer than the war it depicted. A teenager who made $1 million from the theme song. A set that burned down during the finale. And a cast that gave us 11 years of the best television ever made. So here's my question. Which fact shocked you most? Drop the number in the comments. And if you grew up watching MASH, which character was your favorite? Hawkeye? Radar? Hot Lips? Klinger? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe for more weird facts about classic TV shows, and I'll see you in the next one.